Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Dave. I'm hanging out with this fine group of nerds. Of course, you know Nerdarcher Doug and Nerdarchist Ted from Nerdarchy here, but also the awesome Robin Miller and Stephen Partridge, whose links are in the descriptions that you can go check out below. With that, we're going to play some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Those bastards. I'm going to throw it to our illustrious Dungeon Master, Robin.
Cool. Hello. So before I turn the world on, per usual, I'm gonna roll the D4 and pass it to one of the players to recap last week. Unga, you're up.
Oh, we got attacked by some shadowy nightmare creature in Ted's grandfather's garden, who we totally whooped on, and impressed our angelic friend, who was actually fleeing from it and was apparently not very useful against it. We also got a personal tour of the estate, or at least the cursed treasure vault, which we weren't supposed to be in. And I think Unga made a new friend in there. But we'll see. We're gonna have to jailbreak that friend at some point. With that, I'm gonna leave some stuff for everybody else. But I'm playing Unga, who is a half orc Beastmaster Ranger. With that, I'm gonna throw it to Nerdarcher Doug.
All right, hey, I'm Nerd Doug. I'm playing Vent, the Fire Genasi Barbarian, and yeah, we had a good time hanging out at. Actually, hadn't known his name up until Theodonis's estate. That's Galason's grandfather, where we had a kind of like a state dinner because, in some respects, Vent is a visiting diplomat, which kind of threw Theodonis off, and it seemed like we made quite an impression on Ilya, who is Galason's mother, and sort of like inspired us. We stoked the flames of adventure within her, and as a gift to me, she enchanted a mall with a very special kind of protective magic that I vowed to use to protect her son Galason. And with that, I will throw it to Nerdarchist Ted.
Hey everybody, I'm Nerdarchist Ted, as Doug just said. I'll be playing Galason Trisrel, the half-elven shadow sorcerer. We started off the session kind of flabbergasting my grandfather, who, if you've been following the game all of last season, Galason espoused all of the ways that, he was horrible. His grandfather was horrible to him. And we got to see that kind of in spades in his reactions and what have you. So I kind of felt justified and vindicated in that, all of that story is absolutely accurate. Galason's mother kind of hinted out or teased out that my grandfather used to be an adventurer. And when we kind of called him to task on that, he totally denied it. But apparently the Trisrel estate is not doing well. And, we kind of owe grandfather a favor at some point in time in the future, because I asked for food to be sent to the kids so that they won't go hungry while we're trying to go deal with this sphinx. And I'll throw it to last, but certainly not least, Stephen.
So I remember Unga snuck meat to a pet mimic that Galason's mother had in this Arcanum Sanctum thing, where there was like all sorts of like cursed magic items and one random pet mimic. I cannot remember the pet mimic's name now.
Ferdinand,
that's right. For some reason, I kept having in my head Chester, but that's a totally different game that I've been a part of. So I remember that. I remember Vent impressed Galason's grandfather with his royalty and smashing of the shadow creature. I remember that Galason absolutely ate up when we made his grandfather feel awkward. And Prudence told everybody off. That is what I remember.
Oh, and I'm gonna put one more addendum. We apparently found out during this estate dinner that my grandfather was trying to hook up or sell off my mother to some other noble, and we totally made a fool of him. And he left dinner without a word. So
or his pants up. Valiador, I believe was his name.
It was. All right, so we are picking up on the deck of the Argo Navis. where you have reunited with your sister Myth, and behind her stands a mind flayer.
That's right, the
Yes,
Mind Flayer
apparently the-
captain.
A fashionably
my-
dressed mind flayer, if I recall correctly.
He is. He's also swole. I forgot to mention that.
Oh my!
Nice.
You don't see that very often.
No.
No.
So is the Mind Flayer the captain, or is Myth the captain?
Myth's the captain.
Huh?
He's the first mate.
Hmm.
Just keeping strange company as always, I see.
Yeah. So guys, this is Ruin. Ruin, these are my siblings. Yes, all of them. I know everybody always has questions about that. And she goes through all your names, introducing you, points out Calden, his name as well. So
Does the Mind Flayer like give any kind of exasperated look when she introduces Sheldon?
yeah, a little bit.
Right.
It's hard to tell with all those tentacles, but
Sure.
there's a bit of a look.
Yeah. So Sin is not learned, so he's gonna really know what a mind flayer is, but tentacles is bizarre. So he's definitely giving this Minotaur, this mind flayer some room. But he will still be, cordial and polite as Sin always does.
What is the name of the ship?
The Argo Navis.
Argo Navis.
Oh man.
It's actually a constellation of a ship in the real world, in case anyone was curious.
That's even makes it even cooler
That
in the
is so
context
cool.
of this game.
So dear sister, we have not filled you in on what we are doing or why we need the ship necessarily, I believe. Who would like to start? Galatian, we came from your grandfather's.
Yes. Well, dear sister is dear sister says we have just left my family's estate, and you missed quite the show. And the show. You missed meeting my wonderful mother, and I'm happy to see that she's doing her best in grandfather's care and still has a spark of fight left in her. But we have acquired a new mission. We are trying to find Unga's mother, and we believe, and I'll kind of like step up a little closer so it's not like I'm just going to shout this so everyone on the ship can hear. We have to at least confront, if not out and out battle, some kind of sphinx.
A sphinx.
Indeed.
That is not something I expected to find anywhere near the water.
Well, apparently it has its own island or some set, and I ramble off whatever information about, we're supposed to go this direction and then travel for 3 days, and then it's supposed to appear or some such.
There's a giant hand in there sticking out of the water, maybe?
Yeah, I know where that is.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then it was, as always, destiny that we called on you.
Or I'm your sister and you knew I'd pick you up.
That
Yeah.
too. You must have heard my call in the night.
Honestly, you're the only person I know that has a boat. But
I'm
yeah,
certain-
I'm certain I've met, someone or two that has a boat, but of those willing to provide travel quickly and with minimal cost, you are indeed the first and best choice.
Well, I'm going to appreciate that and take that as a compliment.
I'm gonna put my arm around Myth too and say like, and we all missed you at the reunion, but I saved the commemorative tunic for you, and I'll get that out of my pack.
And she's gonna take it and like turn it over in her hands.
You don't
And you
have to
can
wear
see-
it on deck. I get it. You're the captain.
You can see Ruin just like snickering over there, but she absolutely just pulls it right over her head.
All right. I love it.
And she
Myth is a
kinda turns.
tiefling too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She turns and she's just like, "Hey, everybody, this is my dork ass family."
We are that family.
And this like
Greetings,
ragtag
crew.
crew of pirates starts gathering around and greeting you guys, and like several of them hand you oranges as they're shaking hands with you before
Okay.
going about their business once again.
Do I know anything about any kind of customs in regards to oranges?
Give me knowledge of medicine.
Medicine?
Uh-huh.
Oh my, wow. Natural 20 for my first roll.
All right.
So what you need to know is that pirates eat them to stop from getting scurvy.
Do you tell us that?
So eat up, siblings. You don't want to get sick here on the boat.
Are oranges real exotic or anything?
I mean,
Oh.
no, like they're places.
I'm
You've
gonna,
had
make, I'm,
them
I'm gonna
before.
make my own. What is it called? A bonobo roll?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just bite into it with the rind. Just
Oh.
like it's fibrous.
That's
So-
not how you do it, brother. And then I'll just stick my thumbs in and like rip it in half and just.
You mean your thumb?
Oh yeah, well
Oh,
yeah. I cradle in my hook. Oh no, I have Sheldon help me out. It's good to have a service animal, and hold it for me. And I just stick the thumb in and rip it in half, and then I start eating it with the rind on the outside. So basically, he's just got the orange mouth,
Oh,
with the
okay.
rind. And then I just chomp down on it and spit the rind out.
Or you could do it this way, and I show him, delicately how you take a knife and carve off the rind delicately, and far less mess.
But Sheldon also eats the rind, so.
Who knew it was such a versatile fruit?
It's really not supposed to be.
So I kind of squint and look at Ruin.
Ruin.
I've never met anybody like you.
And that's probably for the better.
Why?
Because honestly, if you see someone that has a squid head, your first response should probably be to run the other way. Or shoot it in the face.
Well, the first thing I was thinking was I really haven't had calamari in a long time. And then I was like, that's very rude. That's your face. And
That's okay. If I look at your head, I also get hungry.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, I ate brains.
Oh,
There's not much in there.
It's true.
Now, Vint, that's hardly a way to talk about Unga. He's incredibly intelligent in the wilds.
I'm
Wiley.
used to everyone kind of wanting to eat Sheldon.
Actually, fun facts. It isn't the size of your brain that determines how intelligent you are. It's how many wrinkles there are on it, because the more wrinkles there are in your brain, the more surface area it has, so the more room there are for synapses to fire. Wrinkly brained creatures, much more tasty than smooth brained ones.
What's the wrinkliest?
That's a good question. I'll let you know when I found it.
It's like a sphinx's riddle.
But as for right now, what I tend to get are, the enemies that we cut down on our way across the seas. Everybody's perfectly okay with, taking down enemy pirates and things. But the second you start eating your brains, people have something to say about it. They're dead anyway.
So how do you do that? Is it like a cantaloupe?
I'll show you if you want.
You
I've
probably
never
have
seen
Sheldon
that
peel it.
before. Sheldon can help you. Look, and I hold up one of his big claws. Look, they're like can openers.
You kind of, and he spreads the tentacles so you can see the sharp object on the inside. But then you tap at the base of the head and you just sort of slurp it out.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm gonna pull my collar up.
Sin is absolutely trying to keep his composure and not doing well.
I think
Your
Vent's okay.
friends,
It's pretty.
not food.
It's pretty planarily cosmopolitan.
And are all your people so burly?
No.
Are they all pirates?
No. I mean, a lot of them do sail, but any like gestures skyward. It's not on the water. It's a whole thing.
So how did you end up here?
Well, there was a crash. Some faffery happened. It's really a boring story.
I mean, faffery's rarely boring.
I'm unfamiliar with the term faffery.
And then Myth leans over and she's like, it's the more polite way of saying fuckery.
Oh.
Oh, we know all about that. Hey, does he have any weapons?
Yes.
What is he armed with?
He has got like a saber at one hip and then a flintlock pistol at the other. It's got all kinds of grooves and cuts in it from where he's been using it as a main ghost weapon.
How common is black powder?
Not excessively.
Okay. Is that a magic wand?
No.
What is it?
And he's gonna like take it out and he'll start pointing out the different mechanisms. It's just like, you load it here and then the powder goes here and then you flick this and point and then you push this button and things die.
Oh. I've never seen one of those.
Magic is far simpler.
It is. But people see this and they know what they're looking at and it makes them stop doing the thing they're doing.
It
Only-
wouldn't make me stop doing the thing I was doing. I don't know what it is. You'd be just waving a little stick at me.
You talk about putting something in and putting something in and twisting and turning, and then you got a point, and I just make a gesture out, towards the open waters and blast a ray of frost. That seems far easier to me.
And I see your brain has a lot of wrinkles in it. And if only a mind player could smirk.
So Sin will give a polite nod, but you'll absolutely see as he does so, he takes a full step back away from Ruin.
And Myth is just laughing.
Unga will like step behind Sin and pull up his collar for him.
I thought you were going to say to try to trip me.
Okay, all right. Let's get you guys below deck. You're gonna have to double up on rooms. We don't have that many quarters. So, there's that, but I'm not gonna stick you in the hold with all the rest of the scallywags.
Me and Sheldon can sleep up here and save room. We like the ocean.
Okay. I mean, if that's what you want to do, under the open sky is fine by me. There should also be space in the crow's nest.
Sheldon.
I don't think Sheldon's going to go to the crow's nest.
I lean in
Yeah,
after I
that's fair.
say Sheldon's name and whisper, Sheldon's a terrible climber.
I can take the crow's nest. However, before I do that, I think it might be wise to perhaps just sit around in a circle for a few minutes and perform a couple rituals just in case the worst were to happen. And she pulls out some chalk and some black candles and all sorts of creepy things and some bird bones and puts them in this runic shape that she draws in a circle on the deck. And after a couple minutes, she places her hand on it and it's zoom, and the candles go out and the smoke from the candles goes into everyone's nostrils and you get water breathing for 24 hours.
And the entire time you're doing this, Ruin is just like side-eyeing you like he doesn't quite trust it. But like about halfway through, Myth takes his hand, kisses the back of it, and then gives him a little pat before walking over and accepting the thing that you are doing.
And then she'll also
can-
do water walk on everybody ritually.
Cool.
So everybody has those things now. And I'll maintain water walk because it only lasts for an hour, but I'll just maintain it ritually.
There goes that
Can,
counter.
the interaction between Myth and Ruin. Can I see whether there's something going on there?
Oh, there is absolutely something going on there, and she's not trying to hide it.
Okay.
Myth is totally into hentai. We all know it now.
I mean, a tiefling and a mind flayer, sure. You know,
The heart wants what the heart wants.
I mean, I know it's it's usually not it's not good form to be dating the first mate, but I mean, it's for a reason,
HR
right?
doesn't approve at all.
But then again,
HR
on the
on a
other
pirate ship.
but on the other side, it is the first mate. So
Touche.
And just because she's feeling impish, Prudence will kind of side eye Ruin in return, and after she casts all of her rituals, she'll just sort of pass by and like walk a couple fingers on his shoulder and say, you'll have to tell me if a brain tastes as good when it has no soul attached. And then she just walks on.
And you can kind of hear him mumbling to Myth, like, I think your sister was just hitting on me. And she's like, don't worry about it.
This family's weird.
This family is so weird.
There are weirder ones out there.
And she's gonna like head over to the wheel. I don't remember what the ship wheel is. The helm. There we go. I know
Helm.
words. You guys just let me know when you're ready to go. Go ahead and drop your stuff below deck. You'll know which rooms are yours.
Cool. Can I also do one more thing? I want to use my wild shape feature to conjure a pet to be on my shoulder, because I had a cat, and so instead she's going to pull a monkey out of the wood. So there's this little monkey, but its fur is actually tiny splinters when you look closely. And
that's
it
cool.
smells
Nobody
kind of
tried
like
to pet that.
seawater.
I love it.
I thought you were gonna do a parrot, but that works too.
Nope, she does a monkey. Yeah, she'll just kind of like scritch its chin and then go up and fly up to the crow's nest to keep a lookout.
Okay. Anybody else have things before we set off?
Oh, by all means, I think that the sooner we head off, the sooner we can get this done and find what is
Grisha.
that?
We need to find Grisha and remove the head of the Sphinx.
And so off goes the Argo Navis. Now, as the ship starts to move, you guys notice Louvel standing along the edges more often than not. And if you're paying careful attention, you notice Louvel gets seasick a couple of times. Also, they do not remove their armor, which is not the wisest decision in the entire world, because if they fall in that water, they're going to sink like a stone. But you know what? You cast water walking, so it's fine.
Whenever I start to notice, and I'm not overly perceptive, but I will make it look like I am bored and just doing something to cause a distraction to while away the time. This happens to coincide with whenever there happens to be some unpleasant noise. So like I'll prestidigitate, shadows moving or, sparks flying or something just to occupy the time and hopefully distract people away from it.
Uncle Asen. Being a good brother, this works quite well, and nobody seems to notice that this is a thing that's going on. You also notice that Myth is absolutely in her element. Like, she belongs on the deck of a ship. She has found the place where she is supposed to be, and she is having the time of her life, like just like barking orders at the people that go to and fro on the deck, and like occasionally climbing up into the rigging herself and tying things down. She's just here for it.
So is she a pirate or a pirate hunter or both?
What day is it again? Tuesday?
Because because Ruin talked about like, oh, kill pirates. I'm like, yeah, killing pirates is a good thing. But
Are
if
they privateers?
Yeah,
but if
both.
she both okay.
I mean, it's not like they're not committing any acts of piracy, but they're selective about who they're targeting.
Okay. I mean, I'm not a great person myself, so like, I'm not throwing stones, but if there's information that I can gather and perhaps have a heart to heart at some point in time, I would be looking to do so, but not on this part of the voyage.
Okay.
It's got to get done first.
So you guys are on the ship for the better part of the day before the storm starts setting in. And Prudence, you were the first person to notice because you're in the crow's nest. You see it on the horizon. You see the lightning and the chopping of the water. Give me an Arcana check.
That's a base of 5
Oh.
plus 3.
Okay.
8.
Yeah, no, this looks like a completely ordinary storm to you.
She'll still call down. It seems we have some inclement weather incoming.
And if anybody else would like to look at the storm, they may also make an Arcana check.
Yeah, sure.
I will look at the storm, but I'm not trying to decipher anything.
Yeah, 15. I was imagining Vent was sort of hanging out on the top deck, just watching his sister, appreciating his sister, feeling in her element.
Oh, Vent. You, in particular, know that this is no ordinary storm. You know the work of an elemental when you see it.
Oh, yeah, it's my own blood begins to boil. That's no ordinary storm, Prudence. I think we'd better batten down the hatches. Is that what you say, Captain?
It is. That is nautical terms. That is exactly how you do that.
All
All
right.
right, batten down the hatches. You heard the man.
I don't actually know what that means, Myth, but that there's elemental energy in that storm.
Okay, so what do we do about that? And she's like standing next to you and lowering her voice so that the crew doesn't hear immediately until she knows what's up.
Can you use the gem in your hammer?
That's what I was gonna say. I'll get Spell Eater out and say, well, I guess we'll find out. And I'll just stride towards it and sort of like stand closer to the rail and brandish it.
So the first thing that you notice, sorry, Ted, what?
I was gonna say Sin has to get ready for this, and he totally pulls out a black ribbon and ties his hair back because this storm is going to be murderous on his head.
I make sure to look behind me and make sure I note where Gillyson is before turning back to face.
Hey, Vent, we could walk out there away from the ship.
Oh, you're right.
I'll go with you.
I was gonna say I'll put my hand out like, do you want to go first? Do you have a gangplank on this thing, Myth?
Sure thing.
I'm just going to vault over the side.
Start to pass it over to you, and then there you go, right over the side, walking on the water.
Hey, we have like a thing between us now. We jump off of things together. Yeah. I will join you.
I'll do one of these, and then I'm not going to do it because it'll be painful, and also I can't. And Sheldon will leap over it after me.
All right.
So you guys are on the choppy water, and this will count as difficult terrain for you because it is still moving. But as you get closer to the storm, you hear like some crying somewhere deep inside. It's like echoing throughout the wind.
That's like really weird, Vent.
Like, as in like someone crying or screams?
No, like as in someone sobbing, like deep, racking, braying sobs.
Wow.
The storm could be a manifestation of somebody's traumatic emotional experience.
I don't know what any of that is. So are you saying we're not going to kick the storm's ass?
No, we'll probably have to do that a little bit too.
Okay.
That's usually how these things go.
What I want from you guys is an extended skill check.
Okay.
No repeats on what skills you're using. You tell me what you're using, how it applies, and how you're using it to do something here. Like, up to you how you want to play this.
Okay.
Just those two, or us on the ship as well?
You on the ship as well. You can join them if you like, or you can do it from where you are.
I want to try and use athletics to figure out the timing of the waves. and the swells to kind of like leap from one to the other.
Okay.
I would like to insight, see if there's a way to kind of identify like what kind of pain it could be.
Okay.
I'd like to use history to see if I can recall anything I know about elemental entities and their lines, if there's any just like folk wisdom about this sort of thing. Or, like just like old tale or, whatever, like something like that.
I like that. That is a very interesting use of history. Take a point of inspiration.
Oh,
Stephen,
okay.
what are you doing to do?
Prudence will fly out with them, and she's gonna stay in the air, but I would like to use athletics, even though I have a +0 in it, because she's gonna try to pull them up if they start stumbling on the water.
Dave, are you not using athletics? Did you say acrobatics?
I said athletics, yeah.
Okay,
But if
you can't use athletics.
If you want, I
Oh.
can go to my plan B, which was sleight of hand to try and pickpocket the storm.
Could I use nature to instead try to ride the winds to stay steady and just keep up with them?
Yes, and on top of that, if you succeed in your roll, then I will not give you difficult terrain.
Cool.
Well, I imagine she's also flying, so.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
is
I know.
flying, but there's wind.
But there's
Oh,
There's
sure,
wind.
yeah, duh.
Yeah. So, okay.
Well, I got a 16 for my athletics check.
Okay.
Gonna use my inspiration.
I got 17.
17 on the
Excellent.
die, +4 for a 21.
Dirty 20 on history.
Okay. So, what you know, Vent, is that there are a lot of things that can upset elementals, but in particular, a storm like this. Like you heard a story once about something being taken from a river spirit and something like this happening at some point in the world. So it's a good chance that it's the sea itself that is upset. Just
See itself.
the lesser god that inhabits the sea in a very
Okay.
animistic sort of sense, right?
Okay, no, I love that.
And Ted, what was it that you were doing?
I was insighting to try and see if I could determine the pain, like, what kind of pain or what would have brought it about.
Loss.
Okay, so.
There is something missing, and that much you know going in. And then as for you two, Stephen and Dave, you've figured out a way through the storm. You know how to cut right into the heart of it.
Okay. All right. Does it sound like or I guess maybe, can I use my religion to know if this god would be under the water or above the water?
You can try, yes.
Okay. I have +3 in that. I got a natural 20.
Okay.
Wow.
I got
So
a Nerdarchy N right there.
All right. Wow, nice.
ordinarily what you would know is that it could be either, but you actually happen to know that she is on top of the water because you can see her.
Oh, okay.
And she is
will-
she is huge. She is like this massive creature made of water standing on top of it, like just kind of like hunched over, like sort of almost fish faced, but it's like sort of dolphin shaped, and you can like see the spines that would be going down, but it's just all made of liquid.
That is
Okay.
so cool.
All right, so is this all being communicated to each other?
I would presume that I would point her out and
Yeah. I don't think we could verbally communicate if it's like a fierce storm.
No, probably not. But you guys
Alright.
can see each other, so if you like gesture,
All right, well then
I like that. Makes sense.
I will just I will attempt my next thing, and I'll say I'll just try all the languages I happen to have as I try to persuade this entity that my sister has pointed out. If I know that there's loss, I will beseech them. How can we help? And I will say it in Common. I can say it in Elvish, but I can also say it in Celestial.
okay. She does not seem to understand you.
Oh, okay. Even though it's a god or goddess?
Like a river goddess, like or a sea goddess, not a god, right?
Okay.
Like an animistic style. This is the spirit of the sea that you're on.
Sure.
She's
You
an
know what?
elemental.
She looks like a giant to me, so I'm gonna call out in giant.
Doesn't understand that either.
You probably need Aquan or Primordial.
I can like barely hear them saying these words that I don't understand. And I sort of like lower the register of my voice. And I'm going to use religion if it applies. And I'm going to speak in primordial and just try to, but I'll also be like really bold because I know like elementals, I feel like elementals like me appreciate just like being straightforwardness. So I'm just going to stand my ground and say, and just basically tell this entity that like, I'm not sure what we've done to anger you this day, but we mean you no ill will, and if we've offended you, let us have the chance to make amends.
And with all of that, the sea begins to quell, things start to calm down. The big head of this entity sort of lowers to eye level with you as it like sinks and raises the sea as it does so. That's how big this thing is.
Oh, wow. I will, so it's like shrinking down to like relative size to us.
I mean, no, it's the same size, but it has gone under the water, and the sea like kind of lifts as it rejoins with it, right? She is like a kaiju, but made of water.
Oh, geez, it was that big. Might not have been so bold, but okay. I will just stand my ground then, just until it seems like everything's I'll wait for them to act next or whatever. And then if it doesn't seem like that, I'll just turn back to my friends and be like, I think we might be okay.
Will you help me? She asks, and she does so in primordial.
I'll take a knee on the sea, on the choppy sea, and say, of course.
The lion bird has taken my cloak.
You mean
the one that allows me to walk as a woman.
The inscrutable sphinx. I think we seek the same thing. Across the sea, a giant hand raised from it beyond there.
And a little nod, and as she does, there's like kind of a motion in the ocean, like
like in the affirmative,
moving up and down.
My lady, we'll retrieve your cloak for you if you'll allow us safe passage.
And like, you know how cats will slow blink at you when they trust you?
Yeah.
She kind of does that before like absorbing back into the water, and then it is calm seas once again.
Hey, Vent.
Yeah.
Did you just get married? Are you getting
No, that was a sea god. It seems that Cheyenne had taken something from her as well. A cloak that lets them walk as a mortal, I think. We can have safe passage. I told her we would return this cloak. I figure we're going there anyway, right?
Yeah, that makes sense, but just don't do the kneeling thing when you give the cloak back. I'm pretty sure if you do that, that means you're going to get married.
Oh, well, then I might be married to Galason's mom.
What?
Is that your custom?
Do you just kneel in front of every woman and just give them stuff?
When I make a vow.
Oh.
I guess that is a sort of vow. I should be careful. There's more rattling around up there than I thought.
I just need to remind everyone that last season, Galason almost awkwardly hit on Vent's mom.
That's right.
So we have come full circle, and this is hilarious.
Yeah, this game is hilarious.
I don't think there was any real almost about it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, whatever.
I will back away, as is the custom with gads, and return to the boat.
And you guys continue sailing until you reach the hand. Is there anything you guys would like to do between here and there?
So is there any kind of identifying marks or markers of where we are at the sea? Like, if we have to return a cloak, how do we to find this entity upon
no.
retrieval?
She is the sea. She is the whole sea. If you go to the coast, you will find her.
Yeah, Sin doesn't have the ability to
Oh,
rest.
that was in character. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't
Okay.
explain that. You guys explained that.
Oh, it's
When it-
okay.
well,
Pirates
Go ahead.
use coordinates and stuff. Myth will know.
we don't need any of that, Galesa. When are you gonna get it? We're on the path of destiny. We'll find our way back when we need to.
No, I mean, not all destiny is going to be spoon fed.
No, but you end up where you need to be, generally speaking.
No. Then so be it, dear brother.
Led me to you, and you and I together found everybody else.
Indeed. And here we are. I really
Here we are.
going to be a battle.
Hoped it might not come to that. I mean, gods are pretty powerful, and elemental forces are no slouches either.
That was a god?
A demigod, I guess.
Myth kind of like jumps down from the upper platform where she's been at the helm, and Rune takes over steering the ship, and she's like, so it's like, like a water god. It's not like the kind you build a temple to, right? Like they get shrines at best. You make an offering to the water. Like pirates are really into this kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a thing you shouldn't say to them, though, because it sounds kind of rude.
I mean, no, because they're not really the same thing.
I think it's a very powerful primordial entity, if you want to get technical about it.
Yeah, kind of
And
like that.
we have to return a cloak to them.
So
I'm highly suspect if it'll even be the kind of cloak we think of, Galesa, but who knows?
How did the Sphinx get the cloak?
I don't know. I didn't really have time to ask. When dealing with gods and such, you take what you can get.
Sister, do you have does your magic allow you to sense other magic?
No. I can. I have to choose what I do, and usually I take from the land. So perhaps I might be able to sense if something were off about the land, but I would need to be more powerful to be able to do that.
Do we have anyone here that has the ability to sense such things?
Let's see.
We'll just get every cloak we find and bring it.
But if Vince says that it might not be a cloak in the manner in which we think it's a cloak, obviously it's powerful enough if it allows the water to take on a mortal form. That means it's magic.
Yeah, but that'd be dumb to call it a cloak if it's not a cloak.
Could be a metaphor. Out of character.
Metafrog.
Didn't we have like a
Metafrog.
misunderstanding?
Metafrog.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I had just clicked the right.
Yep, Metafrog.
Well, it's my understanding that magical items are sort of immune to mundane damage. Is that correct, Galison?
I mean, I believe you're more of a student of magic than I am. I just know how to manipulate certain aspects of it.
I mean, we could test the theory. If there's a bunch of cloaks, we'll just light them on fire, and the one that doesn't burn will probably be the one we need.
Or we do as Unga says, bring everything, and we put water and say, "What's your cloak?"
We'll just toss them all in and see what happens.
I mean, you've got
Have
the
a
ability to.
suggestion.
Yes? Is that myth?
Yeah, it's Myth. She like holds up a finger and she's like, I don't think we should let Dad near the sea goddess.
Agreed.
Because my understanding is he has a taste for powerful women. Just not a good idea.
I think he's trying to behave. but-
Well, I want a baby brother.
Like a
You
little
don't want to be the
dolphin
youngest
person?
anymore.
I thought Sheldon was the youngest.
I mean, technically, Sheldon is the youngest, probably.
Yeah.
But, or maybe he lived under the sea a long time.
I turned to
He's
Sheldon.
actually
Did you
the
know
eldest.
that? Did you know that, God, Sheldon?
Like just bubbles.
I understand.
Actually, if I take a long rest, I can prepare something to be able to help find the cloak.
Excellent.
Smith's just like, we've got at least a day of sailing before we reach the coast. So you
Yeah,
can
what's
do
this
that.
big hand I keep hearing and telling people about? Perhaps
So it's
around
just
this
jutting out of the sea. It's just like there, like all curled. And like it's all black stone, and it almost looks like a glove. It's like somebody just reached up out of the water, and it is way too articulate, way too detailed to have been put there on accident. This is not a natural formation.
Interesting. What's it connected to?
Would we be able to stop there at all, Myth?
Yeah, if you want to.
You want to like write your name on it or something?
Galeason was here.
Not anything like that, but I mean, there's something or calling to me about it.
Really? Well, then we must go.
It's only destiny.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything can't be destiny.
It is.
Ah,
It's written,
but
it's written
everything-
in the stars, Galeason, and they're in us. Don't you get it? Speaking of myth, there might be some celestial order hunting us down for the power we have inside.
Oh, that's great. That would have been a good thing to lead with, but they will never catch us.
Not on the Argo Navis, huh?
Not on the Argo Navis. You will not find a faster ship. I made sure of it. And then, she kind of shuffles a little bit, and anybody that wants to roll insight on that can.
I will. I'm probably not going to do it, but yep,
That's a
5.
16.
Oh, she absolutely stole it.
I was going to ask by hook or crook.
It's one hell of a sleight of have a hand check.
Now
it was DC 30 at least.
the hook would be Unga. I don't know who the crook is.
Myth.
The crook is ruined.
Well, Myth's the one who stole the boat.
Well, she and Ruin did together.
Oh, okay.
But so you get to the hand, and actually there's a little staircase that kind of winds up the wrist that isn't made of the same stone that the arm itself is. Somebody clearly put that there. And it's all sort of like bolted in. And if you look at the points where it's bolted, it almost looks like a wound in the stone. It's like obsidian, but with like red ruby cracking out around the bolted points.
Wow. That's amazing sounding.
So I don't know what proficiencies we have amongst the siblings here.
All of them.
I mean, like, looking at nature to look at the stone, some kind of tool work to look at the craftsmanship, as well as like what kind of check is needed to look at what the red coming out of it is like, is the red underneath? Is it like coming out like blood? Is it,
It certainly looks like it.
Vent couldn't really wrap his mind around it until we were there, but now they say that it's made of obsidian. The glass aficionado part of his brain is intrigued. I say, Gallus, and I can see why you felt drawn here. What was it? I mean, what was it about it?
Well, obsidian is black, and it pulls in the light, similar to what shadow does. And I believe in some of the talks that you and I have had with your fondness for glass, I knew that there was a bit of a connection there. So I felt perhaps there is something here. I mean, if this is only, a day or two sailing away from my home, perhaps this could be something of import or something of note.
Quick question. Is this the next day? Like the second day?
It will take a day to get from here to the shore, and at this point you are on the second day of your voyage.
Did Prudence give us water breathing again? Like, was that just something that she did daily?
Oh yeah, she's been maintaining all that.
I'll say, I'll turn to the others and say, like, our brother here's feels drawn to this thing. Should we see where this ladder goes? Or take a closer look?
I want to, but I want to get my mom back first.
Fair enough.
Who knows what she's suffering at the paws of this evil sphinx?
I understand.
Cheyenne.
Well, we have to come back this way anyway to return the cloak and
I'm on the way back. Then.
Grisha to her home land, right? Like we're the area near your home to that is where they orcs actually are from, right? Like that's
Yep.
where they. Okay. So we made it. Is that okay with? I mean, is it the pull irresistible?
No, I can certainly wait.
You were right to want to take a closer look, though.
Okay, on the way back then. And Myth will take us onward to the coast. So the next leg of your journey is fairly uneventful. You guys are wined and dined by the crew, like given multiple oranges over the course of the village.
I will learn to eat them
Voyage.
in the accepted customs.
And rum, lots of rum, because they would not be respectable pirates if they did not pass out rum.
Of course.
But by first light the next morning, you come aground and you can see the mountain, and it is a lone mountain, which is not a natural occurrence either. That's not a thing that happens, and it seems to be made of the same obsidian as that hand.
Oh.
So I won't need to, we don't need to go into any of it, but to my recollection, whether it's accurate or not, pirates are storytellers. So some of them are going to be absolute bold-faced lies, which for the pirates that get into it or that understand, totally love it. But Sin will absolutely go into stories, with the pirates while we're on the voyage.
Oh yeah, they are so into that, and Myth gets involved as well. Like this is her jam. She's enjoying spending time with you. Like it goes very well. So you are now on a coast, and it's as though the sand on this beach, it's all just black and granulated. It's all small flecks of obsidian here. And you can kind of see the telltale markings where there was at one point just a flow of lava that went between the coast and the sea sort of lapped over it and cooled it to this beach.
Kind of reminds me of home a little bit. It was a lot more active there.
Do we see any sort of caverns or doorways or any sort of way into a place or structures?
I mean, from where you're standing, it just looks like the mountain. But who knows if you get a little bit closer, because there's like just hills and stuff between here and there. It's gonna be a walk.
Okay.
What do you think we had to do, Unga? This just looks like pretty treacherous terrain.
I'm kind of looking at it. Can I like use survival to try and pick out a path?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's 15.
Okay. So you do find a pretty quick path to get to the mountain. You can get there within a couple of hours if you stick to it. But also, as you're looking, you can see the platform where the Sphinx would land, and there does not appear to be a clear path up to it. You're going to have to climb.
Well, we can go this way, and around here should be fairly easy, but actually getting up there, most of us are going to have to climb.
That makes sense. It would have a place only it could get to. How high up is it?
It's pretty far.
Oh. Well,
Too bad we don't have one of those flying ships Rowan talked about.
That would be pretty handy right now. Lead the way.
And I will.
All right, just for my clarity, is it just the four of you, or did you take Lubel? Did you take Myth? Like, is it like what's the party comprised of?
I think we would leave them on the ship.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Yep, absolutely reasonable. I just wanted to know for my notes. So yes.
But to be fair, it's the 5 of us.
Mm,
Oh yeah, Sheldon. I'm so sorry, Sheldon. No, Steven, you're muted.
Can we leave Myth and Louvel with the instruction that if the Sphinx flees, they chase it?
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
very
So
smart.
that way, if he tries to get away or something weird happens, like we can find the ship and then we'll kind of have a head start on whatever's going on.
Good.
But as you guys are talking about this and getting ready to head to the mountain, a shadow passes overhead and spread wings. You can see the paws. It's fairly small from up there, and you can also see that there is someone clutched in its talons. Someone who's struggling and swearing profusely and trying to punch with her tiny little fists.
Oh no. Is it
Lurza?
It's
Lurza?
absolutely Lurza.
Mother effer.
All right, roll initiative. Here we go. Let's go, guys. We're doing it. I'm
Okay.
attacking. I am straight up attacking. I'm gonna fly up there like a motherfucker, and I am gonna take her out of his arms.
Okay.
How far away is he?
He's pretty up there. He's like 120 feet up. So it's gonna take you a couple rounds to get there. But if you can, like, you know what? We'll I don't even know how to do this mechanically. Like try to take somebody out of a sphinx's claws.
Just
Was
that
whatever your gut instinct tells
I-
you. We trust you.
All right, but let's make it a grapple check, I guess.
Sure. And can I hex him?
Yeah.
I
I
will
mean, it's gonna
hex
take you a
his-
couple rounds to get there.
I will hex his strength.
Okay. As for the rest of you, if you would like to do things to aid, just tell me what you're doing, and I will allow advantage to these checks as we go.
I can hit things from 120 feet away. So
Okay, so you're making your own attacks.
yeah.
I will speaking of aid, since I can't really do much else, I will cast aid on my 3 siblings.
Cool.
Does that give us?
5 increases your hit points by 5.
Ooh.
Not temporary hit points, your maximum.
Wow. That's pretty nice.
I'll just shout encouraging words to Prudence. Be careful.
I am going to shout at the Sphinx, Cheyenne, you bitch, let her go. And I hex him, and I would like to cast heat metal on anything metal that he's wearing.
Which is several rings and a circlet. Like, please, by all means.
And I cast it at 4th level.
All right, what does that mean?
A lot of damage.
It means it does more damage. And it's guaranteed damage. So I choose a manufactured metal object, such as a metal weapon, suit of heavy armor, things I can see within range. It
So
glows
one
red
of the rings
hot,
are the circlet.
and takes 2d8 fire damage plus an extra d8 for each slot above second, so 4d8 damage
Okay.
when I cast the spell. And also I can use a bonus action on each of my turns to cause the damage again, and he's hexed, so it does an extra d6 on top of that.
Sweet. Okay. So are you targeting the circlet or the ring?
I am targeting the circlet.
Okay. And you just let me know how much damage this comes to.
Okay.
So
need
I
to find another
assume there's
D8.
some amount of shadow down here.
Oh yeah,
So I
like
I
a
grab,
ton of it. You are not out
Ooh,
of the area
like
that is
this
touched
roll.
by the plane of shadow yet.
so I
I
grab a
didn't even know
handful
that
of
was a
it
thing.
and release a magic missile for 14 points of damage.
Okay.
20 plus 6 is 26. 26, 6 of which is necrotic, the rest is fire.
Cool. All right.
And that's on the
So-
first round.
Dave and Doug, do you guys want to do anything this round? Or
You
no,
know
you
what?
already
You know-
cast aid.
You know what I will do? Since I can't really affect it, I'm just gonna do my best. Like, we're beached, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try do my best to try and stay like under it, and just in case Lurza falls, it's like on the off chance that happens. maybe I
Okay,
can-
that is a very good call.
So
So-
I'll just look up at the thing and look ahead and just leap off the boat and try to do my best to sort of be under it.
If you had done any less amount of damage, the Sphinx would not have be taking any time out of its day for you. But with a glance backward and that face, you can't tell if that face is male or female, Prudence. It's just kind of straddling the line there. But there is no roar, there is no clawing, there is no attack, there is just a teleportation. And you have a very strong feeling like the place that the Sphinx has teleported is the mountain ahead.
Oh, dang. Oh, I think that if it breaks my range, I think it stops heat metal too, doesn't it?
I don't know.
The range is where you can affect something.
And then it's
Yeah,
just
no,
heated
you
up.
already cast the spell. If you concentrate on it, it's going to keep going.
Oh, cool. I'm concentrating on it for the whole minute.
I mean, it's a circlet, so they can probably just take it off, as opposed to like if it was armor, where it takes a while to get it off. So
Yeah.
I mean, so that is possible, but yeah, absolutely keep concentrating on it if you want to.
Or we'll get to the layer and there's just a smoking corpse there.
You can go ahead and give me damage for one more round of that, because
Okay.
the teleportation only goes so far.
Okay. Let's see. That is maybe better. Ooh, 7, 7, 8, 3, 6. I like those. So that is 14 plus 14, 28 plus 3, 31. 3 of
Okay.
which is necrotic. The rest is fire.
I hate to be that guy, Steven, but you can't do both.
Dang, you're right. They're both concentration. So take out the hex. So -3
Right.
that time, and then -6 the other time.
Okay,
So -9 total. It's just fire damage.
got it.
Ah, you're right.
I would not
They
have
both
even noticed.
Cs.
Good call, Dave. Thank you.
I didn't even notice. They both have a little C on the D&D
Mhm.
Beyond.
So Unga's gonna start sprinting towards the mountain where the platform is.
Okay. And
I'll follow him. I'll follow his lead.
yeah, you guys get there pretty quickly. And it's not like there are handholds or anything. This is going to be like just straight scaling a mountain. But if you give me athletics or acrobatics and Prudence, you can just fly up there.
Okay.
I guess on my way, I'm gonna cast Aid again on me and Sheldon.
Mhm.
It lasts 8 hours, so you guys are good for a while.
Cool.
So we just gotta climb this rock wall.
I would like to use my inspiration.
Okay.
That is significantly better, like by 11 points. That's going to be a 17.
Okay. So you guys are eventually going to get up no matter what you roll. It's just how many rounds it takes you to get there.
Okay.
And so
As
for
we climb,
Galatian, it's
I'm
going
gonna
to
make
be-
sure. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, that's going to be 2 rounds for Galatian. And you guys,
We're just climbing. I'm gonna make sure as I'm climbing, I just sort of keep pace with Galason and like in arm's length of him, just in case he slips or something. Not that anything, but I made a vow to your mom. So
Sure. And I do have a new trick up my sleeve in case there's a problem.
okay.
That's a 23, and I'm gonna backpack mode, Sheldon.
okay, yeah, it legitimately only takes you 1 round to get up there, so you managed to make it to the top at the same time Prudence does. Vent, what's your roll?
15, but like I said, I'm just sticking by Galason.
Okay. So you and Galatian will arrive at the same time, but Prudence and Sheldon and Unga will get to act first. So I'm gonna have initiative now.
Okay.
Let me
Well,
prepare.
I get advantage on initiative.
It was on a natural 20 and it tipped to an 8.
Oh, that's not a d20.
I'll put it.
Okay, here
my
we go.
Oh,
initiative.
that's so sad. So that means it's 11. Nope, I lied. 10.
All right, so I've got 19 for Vent. And what was that again, Prudence?
10.
Half of that, 5.
You only got a 5? Wow, I usually get really high.
And then Galayson.
I got a 13.
Okay. All right. So that makes this really easy. We can just start with Prudence, and then you guys slot in at the top of the order when this round ends.
Okay, well, I can't hex him. So
Oh, yeah, no, he absolutely took the circlet off as soon as he got in. But what you see when you land on that platform is there are a lot of like sheer curtains. I don't know if you've played World of Warcraft, but it looks very Sindori. There's like, just like lots of plush things lying around a very shiny floor, like sheer curtains along the openings. Like it's a big rounded chamber. And off on the left side on a raised dais, there are 2 orcs frozen in time, and one of them appears to have been in mid-strike when she was frozen. The other one, he's male and significantly older, but you can probably guess which one is Grisha.
Right there. Okay.
Okay. So, is this, how close is the circlet to me?
It's lying on the floor just between you about halfway. So the Sphinx, it's a pretty large chamber, right? And there's a drop off on the other side of where the Sphinx is. The Sphinx is 60 feet from you. The circlet is 30 feet, and Lurza is standing next to the Sphinx. And then after that drop off, it's impossible to tell what's down there.
Okay, I will go 30 feet, grab the circlet in case it's the magic that will free everybody. Because watch us forget that. And then I will cast I have 2 things I thought of doing. One of them is a weird and one of them is more standard.
Do the weird thing.
Do the weird
thing. Okay, let's try for a weird thing. Does the Sphinx look back at me at any point, or is it just kind of going forward?
Oh no, it's facing you.
Okay. Can I try to toss some of those seeds from the garden at Galayson's house into its mouth?
I'll allow it, but that's going to be disadvantage because it's a called shot and a small target.
Okay.
Also, you're 30 feet away unless you've moved closer.
I'm just gonna do it because I
Steven said he moved to pick up the circlet.
Yeah, I already moved.
I know that's why
so I'm just gonna.
Prudence is only 30 feet away and not 60 feet.
Roll a disadvantage, I guess. Can I use my inspiration to cancel my disadvantage?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna do that because I got a 15 plus 2 for Dex, so 17.
That hits.
Yes.
That only just hits. You found the AC. Congratulations, Prudence.
Yes. Okay. Then question.
Yes.
Is that my action?
Yes.
Okay. So next round I'm gonna cast plant growth.
Okay. Unga, you are
up. Bonus action. Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
I think that's 90 feet. And I'm going to charge. I can go 70 feet. So I'm just going to get up in its face. I'm bringing Sheldon with me. He's also
He's still on your back.
Well, oh yeah, he was on my back. So
like I just imagine you climb up and just see this thing. Like I'm gonna kill that thing.
So we're gonna charge, and then when I get there, I'm gonna drop to almost like a 3-point stance in front of the Sphinx and launch Sheldon at the Sphinx.
All right.
And you know what? I don't actually have a bonus action for Sheldon attack, so we're just gonna kind of flank.
Okay.
He lands menacingly to the flank of the Sphinx.
All right. So do you have an attack, or was that?
No. I mean, it's going to take all my move.
Okay.
I bonus action cast a spell. There's nothing else.
Cool. So yeah, you are there. You are adjacent, and then Cheyenne is going to roar, and I need you guys to make wisdom saving throws.
And it's at that moment that Unga goes, "Oh, the beeswax."
Is this charm effect at all?
No.
This is a break your eardrums effect.
11 plus 6, 17.
Okay, you pass.
16.
You pass.
16 plus 1, 17.
You pass.
That is a natural 20 for a 21.
Okay, everybody passes. Nobody is frightened.
All right.
Uh,
Maybe Pete a little bit though.
yeah, it is quite an intimidating roar, but it is not quite enough to rattle your composure. And then we are up to Vent.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've heard grandfather yell all my life.
Okay, so I'm just coming up over the
Sheldon
thing.
got a natural 20 on the save for a 20.
Wow, even he's
Good job, Sheldon. You guys are so mad that you're not even scared.
What my takeaway from that is Sheldon is wiser than I am.
Sheldon has a -1 to his save, so.
Oh,
But,
I
he
thought,
gets but the beast companions, I believe, get my proficiency bonus. To
Oh, okay.
everything, so.
I'm like a natural 20 for a 22, and I'm like, crap, he's wiser than me.
No, it's only.
he
the
probably
bonus.
what is he might be wiser than me. That's pretty low.
He's got a 9.
Yep, that's higher than me. That's 8. So I see this event is just climbing up, probably like helping Galeason get up. I see the situation and I see Unga is already attacking, so kind of just say to Galeason and say, you know what they say, out of the frying pan, and I'll bonus action rage, and I am sheathed in my storm of furious flame, and I will let's see how much move I got. 40. I'll just run and dash and just get all up in this thing's face because I can move 80 feet, and that's my round. I'm raging, covered in fire, right up in this grill of Cheyenne.
Okay. Galeason.
All right, so I will just unload a scorching ray into this thing's face.
I like it staying on theme. Fire bros.
3 jets of fire, and I'm thinking only one of them is going to hit. All right, it's a 15, a 17, and an absolute miss.
Okay, the 17 hits.
So that is a whopping 6 points of fire damage.
Okay. And the Sphinx just sort of like shakes its head as the embers collide, and then Prudence is up.
Plant growth.
Okay. Describe what happens.
So you remember those topiaries that were spiders that I was making?
Yes.
One of them just blooms in its mouth and goes down its throat and out of its mouth and everywhere else.
Okay.
I don't know how that's going to do for damage or anything else. It's just a giant tree growing inside of it now.
Okay, so it's just like snapping its jaws and trying to bite it off or like hack it up, and it's gonna take disadvantage for whatever attacks it makes this round.
Okay, cool.
Unga.
All right.
I'm gonna go with also it's blinded right now because its head is being tilted back by a giant tree thing, so you have advantage on your attacks.
Oh, alrighty then. Oh, well, that was less useful, but so a 18 on the die for 26,
Yeah, that definitely hits.
and that is going to be 16 plus 1, so 17. My second attack. That's not right. That's maybe that's 30 20. For 15 plus 1, 16, so 16 and 17 damage, and let's see. I think that's all I got.
All right, and the Sphinx is going to attempt to claw you, Unga. That's 25 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit. For sure.
For 13 slashing damage.
Alright. I miss being a barbarian now.
And then Vent is up again.
Where's Lurza again?
She's just standing next to the Sphinx, and she's been punching this whole time, right? Like just like in tears and just throwing punch after punch, but it doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot.
I will try to, through the din of the battle, like get her attention. Just be like, Lurza, you've done it. We've got this. Just back off.
And she does. She respects you.
Oh. Let's see. As bonus action, I'll just kind of like intensify my fire, and it just does 3 damage to the Sphinx. And then I'll just wind up for a big tail sweep with Spell Eater right at his dome for my first attack.
Okay.
It's a 13 to hit. Probably a miss.
No, it doesn't hit.
Yeah. He always misses on the first one. I gotta get going. That's like the wind up. There you go. And that is a 26 to hit.
That definitely hits.
So that's gonna do 11 bludgeoning. And yeah, I'm just gonna stay up in this thing, so it tries to focus on me. I'll just get up in its face.
Gleason.
So I imagine that there's, since we're in a cave, there's not a lot of natural light in this room. So I reach out to some of these tendrils in the ceiling, and you just watch as sparks or like slivers of shadow go like sailing down into the creature, and I need to make it needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
All
right, so it passes, so it'll take half damage for a total of 19 necrotic damage.
Holy shit. Okay. Prudence. Steven, you are muted.
I'm sorry, I keep muting myself because my chair's creaky. So how close is Lurza?
She's backed off, so she's gotten 30 feet away.
Okay, how close is she to me?
I mean, yeah, about 30 feet away because you were adjacent to the. Oh no, you were 30 feet away from the Sphinx. So
Yeah.
And she moved this way, so we're gonna go with about 25 feet from you.
Okay, I will use my movement to get to her. Use the other 5 feet in a minute. First, because I think you can break up your movement, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So I have a question.
Yes.
Because I know you're only supposed to cast spells once per round.
Right.
Does that include innate spells? Because I have Fey Touch, which lets me do like Misty Step and
yes.
Hex. Okay, so I can't Misty Step away and also cast Heat Metal again. So I'm just gonna grab up Lurza so I have her if she's willing to go.
Yeah, she's not gonna stop if it's you.
And Heat Metal on the ring for 3rd level.
Okay.
So that starts at 3d8. So it's not 48, but it's 3d8, and that's pretty good too. Oh, that's not a super great roll. That's 8 plus 5 because 1 plus 7 plus 5. So that's 13.
Okay. Unga.
All right. So is it still kind of tangled up, or is it broken free?
It was never really tangled up. The tree was just growing in its mouth and like making it spread its jaws real wide, and it's about to bite through.
Do we still have advantage?
Yes.
Okay. All right, 22 to hit,
That super hits.
and that is going to be 9 plus 4, so 13, and that's going to be a 23.
Lethal?
No, that's the hit. That's 16 damage.
Yeah, I know. Is it lethal damage?
Yeah. I don't think Unga would think to not
Yeah.
be lethal damage.
How do you want to do this?
Okay, so that's another 5 for a total of 21. So as Unga has been stating all
Overkill.
along, he is going to cut off the head of the Sphinx.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Like it just goes rolling. You and that axe. And upon doing so, the enchantment on the 2 orcs on the dais just shatters and they kind of each fall to a knee. The room is left in silence, and you can kind of finally hear the pulsating in the floor beneath, and you can see the stairs that lead down into wherever it is that drop off leads to.
I am going to sprint to Grisha and hit her with a flying tackle hug.
And she is knocked back and like on her butt from the tackle hug, and she looks extremely surprised because the last time she was aware of time, she was not here.
And he's gonna scream "Mama" as he does.
What just? Who are?
So like I'm kind of like kneeling above her, and I go to like kind of like reach for her face, and then shy away with my left hand because I realize that the claw's there, and just touch her with her face, the side of her face with my right hand, and it's me, it's Unga.
That does not mean anything to her.
I
She's
know.
just kind of but she's watching you for a moment. She looks really confused, and then after a couple of seconds like she looks at your eyes, and then she's like, "No."
I found you.
You're a grown man.
He kind of beams and smiles. Well, I'm the youngest of my siblings, but why did you leave me? Was I bad?
No. And she just like kind of covers her mouth with her hand for a second, and then she grabs you and hugs you tightly. And for a minute, like she just can't find words. No, we were under attack. I told them to get you somewhere safe. Did they?
I lived on the streets.
And she just hugs you a little bit tighter. And it's like, this is every parent's worst nightmare situation.
Until Vent and Sin found me. And then we found Prudence. And Myth. And Laval.
Let us not leave out our dear brother Sheldon.
Well, Sheldon was always with me.
Well, he must still be included. And with that, I'll kind of like bow to her.
Oh, we found Father.
And she's just shaking her head, and she's like, I could not care less about that man right now. And she's not letting go. She's just got you in this vice hug.
Well, truth be told, ma'am, he cares a great deal about you. That's why we're all here.
Before that, you were frozen in time and taken from your tribe. Were there interactions between your kin? And I'll just gesture towards the body that Unga just slain.
That absolute bastard.
Yeah, what went on here?
It demanded things of us. It came and it said that we would do things, that we would raid, that we would pillage, that we would be under its talons, and we said no, and the next thing I knew, we were here.
I will try and like push my way away from Grisha and go over back to the head.
And she doesn't let go for a second, but like when you're insistent, she finally does.
I will grab the head by the back of like the mane area and hoist it up above my head. Well, I guess I'm grabbing with one hand and just pushing with the hook on the other. And then I'll bring it over and present it at Grisha's feet.
And she actually starts crying a little bit. Like, she's just going to like move past the head entirely and hug you again.
I'm gonna start taking a look around the room. I mean, obviously this place is meant for decadence, which Sin would certainly appreciate. But typically those that are in decadence also care about things. So if there was stuff being taken, perhaps there's still some stuff here of note or value, and we have a cloak to find as well.
All right. So stuff would be downstairs. And as you are passing the stairs, Lurza just bolts past you to join the family hug that's going on. And you can hear Grisha, like, you were so much smaller to what happened. And it's just like, this is a thing that's going on over there. But as you are starting to descend the steps, you can see in the middle of this room, there is a font of light. It's just like this circle that's full of, it's not quite liquid, but if light were a liquid, that is what it is, right? And there's a big mirror kind of hanging above it that's, you're not sure if it's a mirror or a lens from where you're standing, and all around the circular chamber below are shelves upon shelves of items, enchanted items, just little knickknacks here and there, things of extreme power and things of lesser power that have just been hoarded in this room.
Oh my. Oh, dear siblings, quite a little trove down here.
Hey,
Is
Grisha.
that other? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, hey, Grisha, who's the old guy?
Sorry.
That's it. He's the other chief.
How many chiefs does your village have?
2. One for times of peace, one for times of war.
Oh.
Let's hope those times now are the. Wait, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Former.
And she nods, but she's just still catching up with all of this.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be a minute before she's able to like articulate a proper conversation.
Yeah, I'll go join Gilles and give them their time.
Prudence will also go join them so that Unga can have his moment with his family, and she'll use locate object to find that cape for the sea goddess.
It's a fishing net.
Okay.
Oh,
Just a real big fishing net. You would not have noticed it if it had been among like items. It's just there woven. It's got some seashells in it, you know, a starfish here and there.
Okay, cool. We've got that. And then, yeah, she'll kind of try to stall everybody with magic items or explanations or whatever. So Unga
it
can
wasn't a
have
cloak
time.
after all, Gleason. Or sort is it like a cloak that is made of a net, or is it just like a net with shells that one
It's
might
just a
wear?
net with shells. Like, it's just a big fishing net.
Yeah. It wasn't a cloak after all.
So who is attacking?
And she points to the head. That.
Oh.
It came with magic. It came with spells.
So they took me all the way to the city. I don't know what happened to them, whoever you sent me with.
Oh, it was Chrono.
Chrono?
Your uncle.
I've got an uncle?
Well, clearly you had an uncle. If he didn't stay with you, he wouldn't have abandoned you there. I don't know what happened to him, but I can't imagine anything that would have made him leave.
I don't know. I don't remember. I grew up with the other kids on the streets.
I am so sorry.
It wasn't so bad, especially once I found Sheldon.
And she's like touching your face and just like getting this long look at you and just still so choked up.
I mean, it was a lot of work after I found Sheldon, but it was worth it. Everybody that sees him always think about how delicious he probably is.
But
He's a
she
little
didn't let them
sensitive
eat
about
him.
that.
Well, and she'll kneel and put a hand on Sheldon's shell, and she's going to be like, "Thank you for taking care of my boy."
Sheldon will reach up with his pinchers closed and just gently touch her face.
Which provokes a fresh set of the sobbing. Like it's just a whole wet mess.
I totally had that moment when she said that. I'm like, all right, here's where Sheldon, throws off all of the pretense, and he responds in this very British accent. Oh, but of course.
He becomes Mr. Peanut.
He could talk all along. He's just been, razzing you this time. I mean, he's half human after all, right?
That's true.
He's playing the long game.
Or was a polymorphic ball. Who knows?
I'm sorry, my baby heard me laughing and now he's laughing and I can't stop. All right. So is there anything else in particular you guys are looking for down here in this trove that the Sphinx has collected?
Well, I imagine we'd probably take all of it if it's all possible. Like,
I mean, there is too much here for you to take every single thing in this room with you.
Oh my!
But as you're going through it, you will notice that some of these items have had the magic pulled out of them.
Oh, that's right. Why was he doing that? We don't even know.
I would be looking for anything that looks valuable, whether it's magical or not, to possibly help out, my grandfather and mother. But if there's anything that looks fancy or spellcastery or any of that kind of stuff, Sin would certainly be interested, and he'll take everything that he could possibly carry.
Okay.
I'm gonna point up at that mirror overhead and be like, he might be interested in that. Isn't that his?
No, it is not your grandfather's mirror.
Oh.
The mirror that is above this pool is huge. Like that you're not going to be able to carry that at all.
Oh, okay.
You would need a wagon.
I'm a little wary. I don't want to really make direct eye contact because those mirrors freak me out. I don't want to look in it.
I want to bring the head.
Well, yeah, didn't the Mind Flayer want to eat it?
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe. I mean
that
would
never
be a
came
good
up,
gift.
but now that you mention it, Ruin would be absolutely glad to devour that brain. Yes.
a Sphinx brain is probably really wrinkly.
Do you think he can get it?
Incredibly. This thing has an intelligence of 18.
Do you think he can get it without wrecking the rest of it? Because I really want to mount it someplace.
I mean, you got a pretty nice, clean slice with that axe.
You cut it off. I imagine you'd find a way to extract it from below. And
yeah, he said they kind of just slurp out, right? I mean, they're pretty squishy, I think.
We're going to have to put this in the village so the next Sphinx that comes along will think twice.
So we've got a circlet. We've got a ring that it was wearing, plus a head, and whatever else we can carry from below.
So you can find a lot of expensive items that are now rendered mundane. It seems like he was going for the fanciest stuff first.
Any cool looking glass items or stone? I know Myth likes to sculpt and anything that just looks cool, like a tchotchke.
As far as things that are still enchanted, you do find a
Or not.
stone.
I don't care.
A stone figure of a bear.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, the bear seems to be carved from the same obsidian that the mountain is.
Ooh.
I will point that out to Glace. I'd be like, no, this is interesting. Look, I thought Myth might like it. When she works
Yeah.
with stone, but I think
Absolutely.
this is made of that same stuff.
That's true, but if you know, Miss was the sculptor, perhaps she would have.
I think she would.
You also find 3 rings, and a prism, like just
Ooh.
about this size.
We've had some experience with those too. Prism, wasn't that what was that bird's name that had the feathers and all that?
Kestrel.
Oh,
Kestrel. No,
you
Tweezle.
mean rainbow?
Oh, rainbow. That's a different bird.
That was the bird's name. Yeah, that was Unga became friends with it, right? Didn't he like care for the egg and all that stuff for a while or something like that?
So there's Unga has had a couple of birds in his life. I got a Kestrel
Yeah, he's the
right now
animal guy.
named Tweezle. So
He's the animal guy.
I think rainbow is the one we found afterwards, right?
Yeah,
Rainbow.
wasn't that something with the prism? Like the chamber was in was a prism or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
we
think
should
so.
maybe we should return this to where it came from. Maybe all these things might need to be returned to where they came from. We can at least bring some stuff back to your grandpa. Sounds like they could use.
I will
some
make
help.
a note that one of the rings you find appears to have had the gem pulled out of it, but the setting is still there. There's an enchantment, but it's incomplete. And then one of them is just a simple silver band that doesn't appear to have anything inscribed on it, but it radiates magic. And then the other one is just, it's a golden band with a black diamond.
Hey, will your grandfather be able to figure out what this stuff does?
I'd imagine if we fiddle with it, we might be able to figure it out.
I mean, that sounds kind of dangerous. You never know what's going to happen.
That's true, but I mean, isn't destiny all about us? Just give a mischievous grin.
I mean, didn't your grandfather literally have a collection of cursed magic items?
Yeah.
So, what if they're cursed?
It's entirely possible, and I'll pick up the gold ring with the black stone.
I wouldn't put it past your mother to be able to figure these things out too. She's quite the talented magician.
She's apparently learned a couple tricks of her own.
Well, we can gather it up. So the fishing net is decent size, right? The cloak.
Oh, yeah.
What if we use that to put everything in?
Well, it has big holes in it, so the smaller things aren't going to fit in there, but you can definitely use it to carry some stuff.
Well,
I mean,
we could take the drapes and lay them inside of the fishing net
That's smart.
and
Yeah.
put the stuff on top of it so it doesn't fall
Okay.
out the holes.
Your
Yeah.
brain's getting wrinklier every day, Unga. I love it.
Well, you know, I had to improvise a lot and make stuff up.
It's a good thing your mom made sure you got somewhere safe. That you had a chance to learn those skills.
So, are the 3 orcs in any kind of condition to climb down?
Oh, there's is. The other 2 are not so good.
Oh,
Like they're not hurt, right? Like they don't have wounds or anything. They're just
traumatized and exhausted.
exhausted from having held the same position for decades.
Oh, it's been that long. Yeah, geez, we didn't even
Yeah.
ask that. Figure that.
So, what about this? And I don't know how much Prudence you would be able to fly and carry, but imagine we're not too far from the boat, yeah?
A couple hours, I think, right?
I could probably manage that. Robin, one thing I wanted to do while we were here,
Yes.
I wanted Prudence to kind of be examining what this place is and if she can find where the magic has been put into and like what the Sphinx was trying to accomplish here?
So that's easy. At least part of it is easy. You looking around in this place, an observatory when you see it, and that font of light in the center of the room, that is what all the magic has been poured into.
So it's the liquid magic, the liquid.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is absolutely just liquid magic, just raw liquid magic, and a ton of it.
Okay. So then I guess my next question would be, can I tell what it's used for here? Or can I piece together what might be happening or get an idea? Like
Give me an
ballpark?
Arcana check.
Arcana check. Okay, I'm trained in this. That is an 11 plus 3, 14.
It's not. It is just raw magic. It is not shaped, it's just here. It is all potential energy. You could do insane things with this much of it. What on earth was this Sphinx collecting it for?
I want to dive in.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like, are you sharing any of this? Because but
Like,
go for it, dive in.
So we just like,
for
is it like a
context,
dive in, or she just is entranced and like kind of falls in?
so like you guys will see Prudence has
Scrooge
kind of been
McDuck.
staring, and she's been like just almost fixating and kind of running her fingers over the surface of this magic, and just like there's this look, and it's sort of like when Vent talks about destiny. It's sort of like when Galayson sees that really fancy hat shop. It's sort of like when Unga is out in the wilderness and she just literally dives in, like plunges full on in.
So first of all, I'm going to need you to make a wisdom save.
That is totally valid.
You're a disintegrator.
That is 19. I got 13 plus 6.
Okay, so all of you start seeing the light just pour into Prudence, and you know immediately that this is going to be too much for your body to hold on its own. It's just pouring into your body, and it is like trying to bust through the seams of you. You can feel it underneath your fingernails and in your eyes and in every orifice and in every crack that your body has, just trying to push its way back out again. And you're not entirely sure that you are going to be able to hold yourself together in the face of all of this power. But it is all just merging into your body. What do you do?
So this is really playing to her flaw. Prudence likes secret. She likes power. She wants this. So I think she's enjoying it.
Okay. Like if you try to hold it too long, it will probably kill you.
She will. It's sort of like when you dive in the water and you're trying to hold your breath for as long as possible, right?
Yeah.
I feel like because she touches magic a lot and things like that, her body's not going to let her kill herself with it. Just like you can't let yourself drown, you can't choke yourself to death, that kind of thing. But I think she's going to hold it as long as possible and then just immediately shoot up out of it.
Is it obvious that this is that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can all see this. She's bleeding golden light from like just around the eyes and under the fingernails and just everywhere you could imagine this golden light bleeding.
If I reach in, like, would that pull some of it away?
Yeah.
From her? So
you can split it by halves.
Oh, you
So
got
I will-
shadow magic.
I will put my left hand in and try to see if that would extract some of it away from, Prudence.
So the way that water works is it fills the shape of the container that it has, and this is just a liquid light, and it half of it pours into you from where you're making contact, and it's a little bit more bearable, just a little bit, but you're gonna have to make a wisdom throw too.
Me? Sure.
And we can see that the same thing is happening to Galayson.
Yes.
That is a 14.
Except that when it happens to Galayson, all of that light turns dark. It becomes shadow. It is just like black light from all of these orifices when it is Galayson. Because your very nature starts shaping that magic into something.
Okay. But does it look like he is pained?
Yeah, no, this definitely hurts. It is definitely not like painless.
Then I will. I'll go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna say Unga's gonna look to Vent, and then he's gonna look to the two of them and then back to Vent. What do
Well,
we do?
Prudence said like that, she jumps out, and I was looking to just take enough of it away from her to allow her to get out.
Oh yeah, no, you're both out of the pool, but there is no more light in the pool. It's all in you.
Oh.
Oh my.
That was the thing. Are you all right?
Are they still leaking light?
Yes. This is not beyond critical mass. Like, it's still it very much has the potential to kill you both.
I think you got a lot of magic in you. You both should probably let some of it go. Now, are we on like? Was there any opening to the outside in this layer sort of thing?
I walk over to the vent with my left hand, and I reach out.
I'll grab it.
All right, and then like more of it just floods into vent, but when it enters you, it's like magma, and it's just fire, and it courses through you and just ignites like all the way through your body.
So where and forgive me for jumping in, but where it crosses, where we're connected, changes from the shadow into flames, but it looks like the flames that I throw that are like black flames.
That's so cool. Take a point of inspiration. I love that.
What's exactly is happening here?
Okay, so now you two each have a quarter of it. Prudence still has half.
And
I
Prudence
guess I'll
is
go to
just
Prudence,
muttering.
and I'm not sure what to do. So, like, I kind of put one on my forearm with my hooked hand behind her head, and then I go to reach into her mouth.
And it
like,
just...
Like you would try to pull out something from a child that they have in their mouth that they shouldn't. And that's all we can think of to do.
And it's absolutely wild. This is just like raw primal magic when it crosses over to Unga. And it feels almost like you're raging, almost like you can't contain it for just a second as it's passing into you. And now that all four of you, actually, no, Sheldon is probably going to grab onto Unga.
Yeah,
I can't see your reality in which he doesn't do that. So all five of you are just kind of holding this power, but you're used to holding more power than a mortal body is supposed to contain, so it hasn't killed you outright. And just for a moment, like the five of you are standing, and you can sort of like feel the constellation trying to surface and form between you, but you're going to have to do something with this power. You are going to have to will it to take shape. So what do you do with it? And you can do something absolutely mental with this if you want to, like just shape it, do something magical.
What's happening, Prudence? What do we do?
I conjure my hound.
Okay, you conjure your hound.
Prudence would like to channel the magic back into all of the magic items to restore them.
Okay.
So that what was stolen can be restored.
Okay. And they all start to glow, and I am going to say that like some of them are not going to come back as powerful because some of that magic has already been used and some of it is in your siblings still, but everything is functional again.
Wow.
Cool. So is it still critical mass?
Not for you, and not for Galayson. Vent and Unga, what do you want to do with this power?
I will hook my great axe with my hook and grab the top of the haft with my other hand and totally like do the He-Man pose and try and push it into my axe.
Okay. And you absolutely do that, and we can talk about what your axe will do after this, after the game. Vent.
I really don't know. This is, did you say all the, just the items that the power was stolen from are back, or all of them?
Like the items that the power was stolen from are back online. They're just not working at full capacity anymore. But what
I'm gonna do that too. I mean, is there still ones that are not?
No, they're all functional. They just, you could charge them
Then
up.
I sort of look around at all that happening and consider for a moment. I'm just gonna see if I can let it like disperse out of me and not go in anything.
If you do that, it will kind of go toward the lens and then shoot straight up into the sky.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then after all of this passes, there's a moment of quiet, and then Sheldon goes, "God damn it, you guys are always doing stuff like this."
What?
Well, we had to do something with it, and I wanted to talk. I can never talk. I can never tell you guys what's going on.
This is the best day of my life. I give Sheldon a big hug.
Sin has the biggest shit-eating grin on his face looking at Sheldon talking.
I can't. Wait, what does Sheldon's voice sound like?
You tell me.
I think he's gonna sound like watery and burbly because he's always blowing those bubbles. So
I love it.
So it's like he's got like it always sounds like it's very phlegmy.
Like he's calling you from the bottom of the pool.
Yeah. Oh my God! There's so many things we need to talk about now.
I know.
How are you?
I mean, I guess I'm fine, but and like Claw pointed in Prudence's direction. Just you. What was that?
She's the wise one.
That was not wise.
No.
It was a rush.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
It was.
Our dear brother can now talk to us. I think that was as wise a course of action as could be taken.
Yeah, you knew we had your back. Whether you were in danger or there was danger from you. It looked like you were enjoying that. Are you okay?
Yes. That was very foolish, and I am very sorry. I saw the magic and it called. It was like a song, like a dream, like the best food you've ever tasted, even though it burns.
Here I was always thinking sirens were creatures.
I just felt like I had heartburn, but everywhere. And everything smelled like pine cones.
Pine cones are good. I like the way they crunch.
I am sorry for that. I lost myself.
Oh, we found you.
It kind of worked out.
That's what we do.
Thank you. I did try to do something useful with it at least and restore many of these objects that hopefully can be returned wherever they were taken from, or perhaps used to help rebuild your family's village.
There was a few empty shells in that in your grandfather's thing too.
Well, I mean, the village was fine. It seemed okay, but it sounds like Graceland's family is a little bit down on their luck. Maybe they can use it to buy their luck back, or get money or something.
I'm certainly not opposed to having it split. I mean, your mother's tribe has kind of been out of touch for a long time. It's going to take finances, and there's been no one to maintain any of their buildings. There's been no one to protect anything that were there for decades.
Was the time freeze just the people or the area?
It was the people and like most of their stuff. Like there's no wear and tear on any of the tents.
Because the fires were frozen too.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I assumed everything was like, left barren, and
I think they're going to be okay. Although, if you want to do something, perhaps we can trade the stuff for Fernando.
Huh. We could get you a pet mimic if you're willing to tame it.
I want Fernando. And if we give him your grandfather the stuff, maybe he'll trade. Otherwise, I was going to try and break in there and steal him.
Oh, well, let's offer the trade. Also, let's see what we've got. And I will have Prudence look for maybe a portable hole, maybe bags of holding, haversacks, those sorts of things to like condense everything.
So you guys each get a bag of holding out of this. I will give you that. Like, there's
Okay.
no
Hey.
reason why that would not be in this pile of loot. And so yeah, you can totally carry stuff out of here.
Hey, sweet. Thank you.
Except for Sheldon, he doesn't have anywhere to tie it anyway. But you do feel a rush of power warp at the cave's entrance.
Ooh.
The why can't I think of what I was gonna say? Yeah, never mind. I just the thought just totally went out of my head.
Is it like keeping us there or?
No.
Okay.
But there's
Just
something
don't-
standing up there now.
Oh, what's up there?
Talus. She's just standing in the entrance of this cave, wings spread, looking very done with everything. And she's like, why is it when something happens, it's always you five?
Was that Starlight?
Yes. Oh, no, the golden light? No, that wasn't, but you did shoot it into the stars.
Well, you see, and I'll point towards the corpse of the Sphinx. This thing was freezing people in time, and one of those people happened to be Unga's mother, and we had to rescue her.
Oh yeah, just had to. Just absolutely had to. What is it that you just did? Is that what killed? No, this thing has very clearly been beheaded. Whatever it was that was, you didn't need to do.
It was just too much power to be in any mortal's hands.
The Sphinx taking items and removing their magic, so we were dispersing the magic back out into the world.
Of course it was. Of course it was. You. What? Why are you
making
like
your
this?
life difficult, Talus?
Yes.
Or are we? Oh, well, what brought you here?
I think-
Golden light
Oh, you
shooting
saw-
into the sky.
I thought she was coming there anyway.
And she's just like gonna cross the room and she's just gonna point at Galatian. She's gonna be like, I know this is your fault.
Why would it be my fault?
Your face, that's why. Okay.
I mean, I know it's attractive, and but
Turn on that old charm.
just because I'm pretty doesn't mean it needs to be my fault.
It was mine.
Okay. Okay. Where are you guys going?
Back to the boat.
We got a
Right.
cloak to return to a god.
Since
Of course you do.
since you happen to be here,
Yeah.
do you know anything about a stone hand out jutting from the ocean about a day or so that way?
You've been screwing with that too, haven't you?
Not
No,
yet.
we
We were going
We
to stop
passed
on
it-
our way back.
yes, we passed it on the way here, and it definitely seemed interesting.
And she's like muttering to herself in Celestial, you're not actually allowed to stop them. You are not actually allowed to intervene with the affairs of mortals until they've transgressed beyond a certain point. Okay.
I can understand what you're saying. So,
Right.
whatever information you could tell us could possibly stop us from doing something that you won't like.
You know, I'm not supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to stop, so you're not allowed to tell us information?
Technically, no. But I guess those rules are worded in a certain way and we can probably find a way around them. I cannot believe you're getting me to break the rules.
What if we offer you a drink? I mean, I know this isn't my house, but rules of hospitality, any of that?
Right.
What if we break the rules with you so you won't be alone?
Please don't break the rules in front of me.
Like 6 wrongs probably make a right.
And no, but 3 left, Stu. And that's where we're gonna cut it off for the night.
Awesome. It's good
Oh.
stuff. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Yes, that was amazing. And Galayson is already hitting on the Solar.
Love it.
Again. And thank you everyone for
Loosely.
hanging out and watching with us, and thank you for everyone for playing. We'll be back here. Well, some of us will be back here Friday afternoon as well as Friday evening.
Mhm.
Friday evening. Yep, we'll be back for another episode of Untraditionally Arcane.
Yeah.
You should definitely check that out because I believe they're going to be doing something a little bit different.
It is going to be a
I'm
little
so
bit different this
excited.
time.
And you will enjoy it. And then we also at the end of the month we're going to take a break from those bastards to play a Halloween game, has been our tradition thus far. So that should be a lot of fun as well. But those bastards will be back next week. So until next time, stay
Stay
nerdy.
nerdy.